service, huh? We stop at about 7:30 here. Because tonight is supposed to be Sutta study, huh? Sometimes they call me the Sutta man. No. Why I place so much importance on the suttas? In the Digha Nikaya, Sutta 16, Mahaparinibbana Sutta, when the Buddha was about to pass into Parinibbana, pass away, Elder Ananda asked him, Bhagavan, after you are gone, whom should we follow as our teacher? So the Buddha said, after I am gone, take the Dhamma Vinaya that I have taught to be your teacher after I am gone. It's very different from the Mahayana. Mahayana, they said that the Buddha smiled at Mahakassapa. And Mahakassapa smiled back. And he transmitted his teachings to Mahakassapa. Mahakassapa was the first patriarch after the Buddha. No such thing. So now that the Buddha is not around, our real teacher is the Dhamma Vinaya. Yeah. Now what is the Dhamma? The Mahayanis would say the Mahayana Sutras. Those follow the Burmese tradition would say the Abhidhamma. But there is one sutta mentioned in this book, which is Samudra Nikaya 4.180. This sutta is called the Mahabhadesa Sutta. The Buddha said, "Dear monks, a monk might say, in the presence of the Blessed One, I heard this. This is the Dhamma, this is the Vinaya, this is the teacher's teaching." Or, in such and such a residence, a Sangha is dwelling with elders and prominent monks. In the presence of that Sangha, I heard this, etc., etc. This is the Dhamma, this is the Vinaya, this is the teacher's teaching. Or the monk might say, in such and such a residence, several elder monks are dwelling who are learned, heirs to the heritage, experts on the Dhamma Vinaya, experts on the outlines. In the presence of those elders, I heard this. This is the Dhamma, this is the Vinaya, this is the teacher's teaching. Or the monk may say, in such and such a residence, one elder monk is dwelling who is learned, an heir to the heritage, an expert on the Dhamma Vinaya, an expert on the outlines. In the presence of that elder, I heard this. This is Dhamma, this is the Vinaya, this is the teacher's teaching. And the Buddha said that monk's statement should neither be approved nor rejected. Without approving or rejecting it, you should thoroughly learn those words and phrases, and then check for them in the suttas and seek them in the Vinaya. If, when you check for them in the suttas and seek them in the Vinaya, you find that they are not included among the suttas and are not to be seen in the Vinaya, you should draw the conclusion, surely this is not the word of the Blessed One, Arahant Sammasambuddha. It has been badly learned by that monk. Thus should you discard it. This sutta is very clear The Buddha said, if any monk says that the Buddha taught like this and he taught like that, don't accept and don't reject. Just compare it with the suttas and the Vinaya. Only if it agrees with the suttas and the Vinaya, you can accept it. So when you compare the early suttas, the 5 Nikayas, with, for example, the Mahayana teachings, the minor sutras, you find a lot of contradiction. When you compare with the Abhidhamma, also you find a lot of contradiction. The commentaries, some of the commentaries, some of the things they say in the commentaries, we can accept. But there are some which contradict the suttas we cannot accept. For example, in the commentaries they say there are 5 types of arahants. One who has attained 4 jhanas, one who has attained 3 jhanas, one who has attained 2 jhanas, 1 jhana, 0 jhana. 0 jhana also can become arahant. This we cannot accept because in the suttas the Buddha said this is Sutta Nikaya 3.86. The Buddha said, Sotapanna and the Sakadagamin have perfect sila. Because the Iron Eightfold Path is also called Sila Samadhi Panya. Moral conduct, concentration and wisdom. So, the Sotapanna and the Sakadagamin, they have perfect sila. And then the Anagamin has perfect sila and samadhi. And the Arahant has perfect sila, samadhi and panya. So you find that the Anagamin, the 3rd fruit, and the Arahant, the 4th fruit, they must have perfect samadhi, which is the 4 jhanas. You cannot find any Arahant without jhana. You can find any Arahant without jhanas. Some of us already jhana, already Arahant. So the difference between the Sotapanna and Sakadagamin is that the Sotapanna does not have jhana. This is confirmed by Sutta Samyutta Nikaya 55.40. Whereas the Sakadagamin must have 1 or 2 or 3 jhanas, but not 4 jhanas. So we have to be very clear, since the Buddha says that whatever another monk teaches, you have to compare with the suttas and the Vinaya. That is our standard. Also, Buddha warned in the Samyutta Nikaya 16.13, Kasapa Samyutta, Buddha said, the true Dhamma, which is the suttas, will not disappear as long as the fake Dhamma has not appeared in the world. But when the fake Dhamma appears in the world, then the true Dhamma will slowly disappear. So the Buddha already predicted that there will be fake Dhamma in the future. Some people find it very hard to believe, how can there be fake Dhamma? The Buddha already predicted. So we have to be very careful. If we follow the fake Dhamma, we will destroy the true Dhamma, which is what some monks are doing. They say things that are contradictory to the suttas, and they claim that that is the Buddha's words. The Buddha said, if a monk says what is not Dhamma, Dhamma, is Dhamma, he is misleading a lot of people and devas and devis and causing their harm and creates a very bad karma for himself and causes the disappearance of the true Dhamma. But if a monk says what is Dhamma, fake Dhamma, is fake Dhamma, the Buddha says such a person, he benefits a lot of humans and devas and creates a lot of merit for himself and preserves the true Dhamma. So the Buddha is encouraging us to speak out against our Dhamma. A lot of monks, they know what is not Dhamma, they dare not speak out. They want to be popular. That's one reason. But we have a lot of followers. But we to do the Buddha's work. So we find if we investigate later books, a lot of contradictions. For example, in the Abhidhamma, it says if you attain the path, immediately the next moment it turns to fruit. This is contradicted by the suttas, as I mentioned just now. If a person attains the path and immediately attains the fruit, that means you cannot make any offering to a path attainer. Yeah? Because he only exists for one conscious moment, one kana, one jhana in Sanskrit. But in the suttas you find the Buddha said you can make offerings to the first path attainer, the first fruit, second path, second fruit, third path, third fruit, fourth path, fourth fruit. I think this is the Dakina Vibhanga Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya. Then mention also that later books like the Mahayana Sutras and the Abhidhamma says there are 4 woeful planes, whereas in the early suttas we only talk about 3 woeful planes. They've included the Asuras as one of the woeful planes. But in the suttas, the Asuras are all devas, because it is mentioned in Digha Nikaya, the lowest Asura is called the Kalakanja Asura. And in another sutta of the Digha Nikaya, one day many devas came to pay respect to the Buddha, and the Buddha was pointing it out to his disciples and those who had psychic eye. You see, I told them this is what deva, mentioned their names, and he mentioned the Kalakanja Asuras. But the later books, the commentaries and sub-commentaries, they say that there are Asuras in hell, there are Asuras in the ghost realm. This is contradicts the suttas. So also in the Abhidhamma, they say there is no soul because they believe that when the being dies, the consciousness stops, and the consciousness starts in, for example, in the womb. Sometimes they say consciousness enters the womb. But in the suttas, you cannot have consciousness by itself, because consciousness refers to the 6 consciousness. The eye consciousness, the ear consciousness, nose, tongue, body and mind consciousness. And these 6 consciousness must come from the 6 sense bases, which is you must have the eye before your eye consciousness can arise. You must have a good ear before your hearing consciousness can arise. So obviously, if you have consciousnness, you must have the 6 sense bases, which means that you have body and mind. So these are some of the contradictions. Also in the Abhidhamma, it says there are no animals in heaven. And in the suttas we find Sakadev Raja, Jahong Rishi, will go in 1,000 white horses, riding in this Matali, his driver, who drive 1,000 white horses, bring our Sakadev Raja, Tikong, Jahong, go here, go there. So there are horses in heaven. Also in the suttas they talk about the kind of fish called Timingala in the heavens, because in the heavens also got 4 great oceans. And just as we have our Himalaya mountains, they have Mount Simaru, the highest mountain is Mount Simaru. And then sometimes some people say the Abhidhamma must be the Buddha's teachings because it is so profound. That's because they haven't studied the Mahayana teachings. Mahayana teachings are equally profound. And then like the Abhidhamma, say a lot of things that the Buddha never said. For example, they talk about Bhavanga, they talk about Javana, talk about Kalapas, Atisandi Chitta, Chutti Chitta, all these things that were not spoken by the Buddha. It is one of the characteristics of later books to see a lot of things that the Buddha did not say. So the Mahayana want to be Mahayana Yasu. We talk about 6 consciousness, we talk about 8 consciousness. They have sub-consciousness, Alaya consciousness and another one I forgot, 7 and 8 consciousness. So it doesn't mean that just because it sounds very profound that it's the Buddha's words. Because you can see very clearly the difference between the suttas and the Abhidhamma. Abhidhamma is just a lot of theory. It's not practical. Whereas the suttas, you can find the suttas is talking to everyday man, not talking profound things, talking things that an ordinary person can understand. And then there's a lesson behind it, how to cut your greed, hatred and delusion. So the flavor is very different. The flavor of the suttas and the flavor of the Abhidhamma is completely different. So, I've written a book called Liberation many years ago, and stressing the importance of the suttas for liberation. And in that book, I say if you want to study the suttas, you proceed in the way we have arranged in our SD cards. You start with Anguttara Nikaya. Why? Because Anguttara Nikaya contains short suttas, and a lot of the suttas is for lay people. So it's not difficult to understand. And after Anguttara Nikaya, you can go to any Nikaya. But the way we have arranged it and the way I give the talks is after Anguttara Nikaya is Samyutta Nikaya. And then after that Majjhima and Digha, Yaka. You don't have to go in that order. But if you listen to my SD cards, you go in that order would be better, because sometimes I refer to something I said earlier and you would know. So the thing is, the Buddha said, the only way to end suffering is the Aryan Eightfold Path. Because the Buddha said samsara has no beginning and no end. And now Professor Stephen Hawking also confirmed the Buddha's words. Professor Stephen Hawking says time has no beginning and time has no end. Exactly what the Buddha said. So if we are careless, after this lifetime, we will be still turning in samsara endlessly. And in the long cycle of samsara, the Buddha says, most of the time we will fall into the woeful plains. Seldom we come back as a human being or go to heaven. Why? Because if you don't understand the Dhamma, we follow our natural tendencies. Our natural tendency is greed, hatred and delusion. Our natural tendency is, the Cantonese say, kiki ku kiki. Have a self, we tend to be selfish. It's natural. You can see in children, you give them a chocolate, they eat so nice, you ask them to share with the brother or sister, refuse. So, the danger of samsara is very real. That's why you find a lot of people, when they are about to die, they're very scared. Because a lot of people, when they're about to die, they see, all these departed relatives coming. So So most humans, after we pass away, we go to the ghost realm. And the reason we go into the ghost realm is because we're having a very good life now. Somewhat like Devas and Devis are living. So we're using up our blessings. Every day we're using up our blessings. If you don't know how to replenish your blessings, you will naturally fall into the ghost realm as easy as falling off a chair. Because the ghost realm and the human realm are not very far apart. That's why there are some people, just now somebody asked about somebody who can see ghosts, very frequently see ghosts. Because that person's frequency is ghost frequency, that's why I can see ghosts. So likely after she passes away, we'll go to the ghost realm. So that's why you have to be very careful, because ghost realm, compared to us, it's very pitiful, it's very frightening. You just go and see Hantu Limau or some of this Pontianak show, see how frightening. Yeah. Then we see 1 hour or so, you're so scared, 2 hours. Imagine you're there night after night after night to meet all these fierce hula and all that. Sometimes when we are not well, for example, we have a fever, high fever, then we dream of ghosts. Yeah? Frightening or not? So, if on top of that, we do evil because of greed, hatred, we do evil, then we will be reborn as animal or go to hell and suffer for a long time. The Buddha said those beings in the animal and hell realms, once they fall inside the animal and hell realm, they'll be there for a long time. It's very hard to get out. Ghost realm, not so difficult. So, the only way to avoid falling into these 3 woeful planes is to become an Arya. And luckily, becoming an Arya is not so difficult. The difficulty is meeting the true Dhamma. Once you meet the true Dhamma, it's not difficult to become an Arya. You become a Sotapanna. Attain stream entry and then become a Sotapanna. And the way to do it is to get right view. In the Samyutta Nikaya, I think chapter 13, it is mentioned that once you attain right view, Aryan right view, your blessings are very great, and the suffering that is left for you is so little compared to the suffering of a person who does not have right view. For example, one of the similes given, the Buddha took a bit of earth on his fingernail and asked his disciples, you look, the amount of fingernail, the amount of earth on my fingernail, how much is it compared to the earth in the whole world? And he said, so little. Soil on your fingernail cannot compare at all to the soil in the whole world, not even a fraction of it. So the Buddha said in the same way, once you attain stream entry, the suffering that is left is so little, like the soil on the fingernail. Whereas if you don't attain stream entry, your suffering will be so much like the soil in the whole earth. There's a sutta where the Buddha said that the long cycle of samsara, we have shed tears lifetime after lifetime. We have forgotten. Sometimes we may dream of something in the past and we realize, last time you cried because of such and such an incident. So the Buddha said the tears that you have shed, the long cycle of rebirth, is more than the water in the 4 oceans in heaven. Water in the 4 oceans in heaven is so much. The tears you have shed, you have forgotten. Why did you shed tears? Because you did something wrong as a human being and you were tortured, you were executed. Or somebody that you love passed away. Your child, or your mother, or your father, or your husband, or your wife. Also the Buddha said, the blood that you have shed in the long cycle of samsara is so much you have forgotten, more than the waters in the 4 oceans in heaven. Because you were born as an animal, you were killed by another animal, devoured by another animal, or slaughtered because you were born as a chicken or a lamb or a pig or something. Or because you were a human being, you got into a fight, you got stabbed, you got killed. Or you did something wrong and you got executed. The Buddha said the blood that you have shed is more than the 4 oceans. So the Buddha said, enough. So we have forgotten all this. But we haven't actually forgotten. It's inside our subconsciousness. It's because of this that today you are interested in the Dhamma. If you did not have this memory inside you, you would not be interested in the Dhamma. Dukkha is a very good teacher. Without dukkha, we lost one line. Whatever we like. But when you have dukkha, then you start to ask why. For example, you get cancer, and you ask why? Why me? Why me? Yeah. You really start to ask and inquire, and slowly you get the answer. So, luckily there is a path that leads us out of suffering. But there's only one path, and that is the Aryan Eightfold Path. The Buddha said, wherever the Aryan Eightfold Path is found, there you will find the first Arya, first fruit, Sudhamma, the second Arya, Sakadagami, the third Arya, Anagami, the fourth Arya, Arahant. Where the Aryan Eightfold Path is not found, you cannot find any Arya. So the only way out of samsara is the Aryan Eightfold Path. But later books lead you astray and they say 84,000 Dhamma doors. Go to the 84 Dhamma doors, you fall into the longkang, you fall into the shithole. So you have to be very careful. There's a lot of Mara around, leading you astray. So luckily for lay people, Buddha said that to become an Arya, the easiest is to attain stream entry. And stream entry means entering the stream. And the stream is mentioned in the Samyutta Nikaya to be the Aryan Eightfold Path. So the Aryan Eightfold Path starts with right view. Because Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 117 is the way to practice the Aryan Eightfold Path is to follow the factors one by one. First, you must attain right view. The right view will bring you to right thoughts. And that will bring you to right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Because once you have attained right view, Aryan right view, Aryan right view is understanding suffering, cause of suffering, the cessation of suffering, and the path leading to the cessation of suffering. Once you understand the 4 Aryan fruits, you have attained right view, it means you have got rid of wrong views. Okay? You have got rid of wrong prejudices. You have got rid of wrong thoughts. So as a consequence, you will have right thoughts, which is the second factor. Yeah? And because you have right view and right thoughts, you will have right speech. Why? Because before we speak, we have to think. So you have right thoughts, then you will have right speech. It comes naturally. Yeah? And also because of right view and right thoughts, you will have right action. You won't do something that harms other beings because you know ultimately you will harm yourself. So because of right thoughts, right speech, right action, you will naturally have right livelihood. So you see, once you get right view, the other four follow naturally. Buy one, free four. So you end up with 5. Then after that, the remaining 3 factors, you have to make the effort. Right? Effort is to make the effort to get rid of your unwholesome states and develop wholesome states. And to do that, you must use right mindfulness. You have to be mindful of your body. That means your body actions. You don't harm other beings. You benefit other beings. You have to be mindful of your feelings, because you don't let your feelings overcome you. If your feelings overcome you, then you do things that you should not do. Some people out of anger, road rage, it's because of a parking space they kill somebody. Yeah. So feelings are important. And some people, they are very emotional, cannot control their emotions. That is dangerous. So you have to be mindful of your feelings. Then you have to be mindful of your mind. That means you have to watch your thoughts, whether your thoughts are wholesome thoughts or unwholesome thoughts. Your perceptions of other people, etc. Whether it's correct or incorrect. Whether you look down on people, whether you're arrogant or what. You have to notice your perception and your attitudes towards other people. All this is the mind, working of the mind. So only by observing yourself, your own mind, in Chinese we say nei wan, roi kun. So, and then you have to be mindful of Dhamma. You have to listen to Dhamma every day. Because if you don't listen to Dhamma every day, you don't know how to use it. It's like once a week you go and train Kung Fu, you don't train every day. When the robber comes into your house, you don't know how to use. Yeah. You will be very familiar with the Dhamma. So when you are familiar with the Dhamma, every day you know how to use the Dhamma, how to apply the Dhamma. So to practice right effort, you must use right mindfulness together. And this combination of these two is called vipassana, contemplation. And when you practice vipassana, you are developing your character. It's very important to develop your character because your character will lead you to your rebirth, place of rebirth. You have gu khe, you become a gu. Ngọc Trinh become Ngọc. So this vipassana is development of character. And then the 8th factor, right concentration. If you can attain right concentration, that means the jhanas. You would have eliminated the 5 hindrances. The Buddha said in the Samyutta Nikaya 46.38, the 5 hindrances are makers of blindness, make you blind, make you unable to get view, that means to get right view, and obstructions to wisdom. If you have the 5 hindrances, you don't have wisdom. So, when you can get rid of the 5 hindrances by attaining concentration, then your mind becomes clear. No more the blur mind. Then wisdom will come naturally. So sometimes bhavana, people say bhavana is right, is meditation. Bhavana, the word bhavana means development, and it means development of character and development of the mind. And it encompasses these last three factors of the Arya Eightfold Path. This is bhavana. So luckily for lay people, it is not difficult to get right view and to attain stream entry. In the Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 43, it is said that there are two conditions of right view. In the suttas it is said the voice of another. The second condition is yoniso manasikara. Venerable Bhikkhu Bodhi translates it as careful attention, or wise attention. But I prefer to use the word focused attention. Why focused attention? Because when you listen to the Dhamma, actually the first condition, the voice of another. The voice of another must be teaching you the true Dhamma, the real suttas of the Buddha. And then when you listen, you must have a focused mind. Why? Because when you have a focused mind, the five hindrances fall away. There is a sutta mentioned here in this book. When a person listens to the Dhamma with eager ears, attending to it as a matter of vital concern, directing his whole mind to it, at that time the five hindrances are eliminated and the seven bojjhanga, factors of enlightenment, are developed. So if you pay attention while you are listening to the Dhamma with eager ears, attending to it as a matter of vital concern, directing your whole mind to it, at that time the five hindrances are not there. Directing your whole mind to it, that means focused attention. That's why I like to use the word focused attention. Actually, whatever we do, we have to do it with focused attention, then only we do well. So, only these two conditions. So the main point is to listen to the true Dhamma, which is the five Nikayas. Listen to the five Nikayas. But then the last Nikaya, the Khuddaka Nikaya. Now, Thailand and Sri Lanka consider Khuddaka Nikaya to have 15 books. But in 1956, the Burmese added another 3 books. Everybody knows it's not the words of the Buddha, and still they have it in. So in Burma, they consider Khuddaka Nikaya to have 18 books. But if you examine these 18 books, you find only 6 are reliable, namely the Dhammapada. Not the Dhammapada stories, Dhammapada stories were created later, the Dhammapada verses, and then the Sutta Nipata, then the Udana, and then Iti Uttaka, then Theragata, Therigata. All these are mentioned in my booklet called Liberation, which you probably can get from our website. So if you listen to the suttas again and again, slowly you will understand. When you understand, you will start practicing. When you start practicing, you become more and more serious. And you start leaving your friends behind. As an Indian saying, the holy path is the path of the alone, to the alone, by the alone. Only yin xiong, heroes and heroines can walk the path. If you are faint-hearted, don't have enough courage, you cannot walk the path. Your time must be right now. Your time is right now. You will naturally walk the path. So, as you progress on the spiritual path, people will find your character has changed. Last time you like to enjoy life, join your friends, do this, do that. Slowly you become a hermit. You prefer to stay in your house, listen to the Dhamma, meditate, keep your sila, change your character. Because the majority of people will be reborn in the woeful plains. Buddha said, few are reborn in the happy destinations of people. So if you want to have a good rebirth, you have to be different from worldly people. Worldly people are selfish. People are greedy. Chun Fok asked me to talk a bit about meditation. In the Anapanasati Sutta, the Buddha talked Anapanasati Sutta, Mindfulness of Breathing, Sutta 118. And how amongst is mindfulness of breathing developed and cultivated so that it is of great fruit and great benefit. And I skip a few words. Then the Buddha says, breathing in long, he understands, I breathe in long. Or breathing out long, he understands, I breathe out long. Breathing in short, he understands, I breathe in short. Or breathing out short, he understands, I breathe out short. He trains us as I shall experience the whole body of the whole body. I shall breathe in, experiencing the whole body. He trains us, I shall breathe out, experiencing the whole body. He trains us, I shall breathe in, tranquilizing the body, sankhara. He trains us, I shall breathe in, breathe out, tranquilizing the body, sankhara. Okay, this part now, basically, the Buddha says, when you are practicing anapanasati, mindfulness of the breath, you've got to be mindful of the breath. Mindful of the breath, that means whether you breathe in long or you breathe in short. Never does it say you have to observe at the tip of your nose or the top of your lips. This is from the Visuddhimagga, this is from later teachings. And then I shall breathe in, experiencing the whole body. I shall breathe out, experiencing the whole body. This one, you not only have to be mindful of the breath, you have to be mindful of your body. This is something, when I started meditation, I did not observe, I was not so familiar with the Sutta, so I realized this. But it's important when you are practicing anapanasati, you have to be mindful of your whole body. This you find, for example, in the Burmese tradition, they follow the Visuddhimagga, they don't do this. So even when they attain samadhi states, they are not aware of the body. But it is important to be aware of the body as far as the Buddha is concerned. Why? Because in the suttas, the Buddha said, after you contemplate your breath and you are able to attain the first jhana. When you attain the first jhana, you have piti and sukha, which is delight and bliss. Then the Buddha says, you must make this delight and bliss pervade the whole body. So if you are not aware of your body, how can you make piti and sukha pervade your whole body? Yeah. So you have to be aware of the whole body. Even in the second jhana also, the Buddha says that. So then I shall breathe in and breathe out, tranquilizing the body sankhara. The body sankhara is breathing. So as you practice further, your whole body calms down and then your breath becomes more tranquil and tranquil. And the second part, as you breathe in, experiencing piti, delight. It trains us as you breathe out, experiencing delight. It trains us as you breathe in, experiencing happiness or bliss, sukha. As you breathe out, experiencing sukha. It trains us as you breathe in, experiencing the mental formation, the mental sankhara. Mental sankhara is perception and feeling. As you breathe out, experiencing the mental sankhara, perception and feeling. As you breathe in, tranquilizing the perception and feeling. As you breathe out, tranquilizing perception and feeling. So in this second part, when the monk experiences, when the monk attains the first jhana, he has piti and sukha. So he's mindful of this piti and sukha. Piti and sukha is a feeling. So the Buddha says, as you breathe in and breathe out, experiencing the mental sankhara, which is perception and feeling. So the proper way, if you are practicing this anapanasati correctly, you are very aware not only of your breathing, but also aware of your feelings, of your mental states, of your perceptions, all of that. This I mentioned in this book. Not like some other samadhis, they're not aware. Then the third part, it trains us as you breathe in and breathe out, experiencing the mind. As you breathe in and breathe out, as you breathe in and breathe out, gladdening the mind. As you breathe in and breathe out, concentrating the mind. As you breathe in and breathe out, liberating the mind. This one would be the higher jhanas. Higher jhanas. He experiences the mind. Then the last part, as you breathe in and breathe out, contemplating impermanence. Contemplating fading away, contemplating cessation, etc. This last part is after he comes out of the jhana, then only he can contemplate. If he is in the jhana state, he cannot contemplate. He must come out of the jhanas, then only he can contemplate. Okay? Any question? Concerning the suttas?
Paul, just now you mentioned about this when you're doing anapanasati. So not only concentration on the breath, but also concentration on the body. That part I don't really understand. How can you? Because what I understand, when you do anapanasati, you concentrate on the breath. If the thoughts comes, got thoughts, you let it sort of let go, and then you come back to the breath again. But I don't understand about how can you concentrate on the body.
You concentrate or you are mindful of the body at the same time as you are mindful of the breath. You can do that by observing the breath coming into your nostril, coming down to your abdomen, your dantian, and going out again. In other words, you follow the breath. And then if you find as your mind becomes calmer and calmer, as your body becomes calmer and calmer, the breath becomes hard to notice. Then you can force it a bit to allow your abdomen to bulge a bit. It becomes obvious to you. So in this way, you are observant of your body. So you have to know the breath goes in at the nostril, and you have to know it comes to your dantian, your abdomen. This is also the Hindu tradition, they practice this.
Do we need to be aware of other parts of the body, like the posture or contact with?
No. You only want to be mindful of the breath, the whole breath. If you are mindful of the whole breath, you are also mindful of where your body, your breath is going through.
But is it the body of the breath or our whole body?
Both. If you are following the breath from the tip of your nostril down to your abdomen, you are observant of both. In fact, if your mindfulness is sharp enough, later as the suttas show, even when you attain the jhanas, you're not only mindful of your breath, you're mindful of your feelings, of your mind states, your perception, everything. What?
Bhante, just now you mentioned that there are a lot of books that come after Buddha, so they are not Buddha's words. So I just want to know whether Dhammapada is considered as a reliable source that we can study or...
The Dhammapada verses are reliable, not the stories. Not the stories. The stories were created later. The stories are called Dhammapada Atakata. Itu cakap banyak.
And I have another question. I actually don't understand how we translate Sutta in English. As in, what does Sutta actually means? Even though we study that, but
Sutta, probably the meaningful translation would be discourses of the Buddha. There is a Sutta in the Tiga Nikaya, I think Sutta 29, where the Buddha said that his teachings are perfect and complete. If you think you want to add to his words, you don't see his Dhamma. If you want to subtract from his words also, you don't see his Dhamma. What the Buddha is trying to say is, firstly, that his teachings are perfect and complete. You cannot make it more perfect. You cannot make it more complete. It is perfect already. In other words, our Buddha is one of the best Buddhas you can find. You cannot find another Buddha whose teachings are better than our Buddha. At the most, can only equal our Gotama Buddha. So a lot of people don't appreciate. Some stupid people want to look forward for Maitreya Buddha. You have a perfect Buddha here, you want to look for a second-hand Buddha, second-class Buddha. Some people want to look for Amitabha Buddha. Only teach one sutra, Amitabha Sutra only. I want to follow. So secondly, the Buddha said, if you want to add to his words, you don't see his Dhamma. Meaning, those people who wrote the later books, they don't appreciate the suttas enough. They think they want to add. For example, one of the founders of Mahayana Buddhism is Nagarjuna. In Chinese they call him Long Su Pusa. In his biography, people ask him, Bhante, last time there were no such discourses. How come there were no such books? Because at that time they started to write books. Probably there were no such teachings. How come now there are such teachings? He said there were a lot of things the Buddha did not explain. So I feel it necessary that I should explain. That is really cakap banyak. That means he does not have right view. If the Buddha said, if you want to add to his words, you don't see his Dhamma, then you don't have right view. All the people who wrote the later books, they don't have right view. That's why they say a lot of things that the Buddha did not say. How can you be smarter than the Buddha? Buddha's teachings are perfect and complete. So if we study the 5 Nikayas, very good chance to become an Arya. It's not difficult, you know, in the Suttas and the Vinaya, we find so many people come to listen to the Buddha first time, listen to the Dhamma first time. And the Buddha just outlined the 4 Aryan truths and they became chief emperors. There was even a person who used to drink liquor, Sarakani was his name, in the Samyutta Nikaya, 55 or 84. He passed away, he was a Sakyan. And then people came to ask the Buddha, because he used to follow the Buddha as a lay disciple for many years. So people asked the Buddha, where has Sarakani gone for rebirth? So the Buddha said, oh, Sarakani has gone for a good rebirth. He was a Sotapanna. So the news spread. So when the news spread, some people heard, they got angry. They said, so this Sarakani can't even keep his 5 precepts. He drinks liquor. How can he be a Sotapanna? If he can be a Sotapanna, we are all Sotapanna already. We can keep 5 precepts. So the monks came back and told the Buddha what these people were saying. So the Buddha said, why can't Sarakani be a Sotapanna? He has taken refuge in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha a long time. That means he has listened to the Suttas for a long time. Then the Buddha said, don't talk about Sarakani, you look at these trees. If I taught them the Dhamma and they can understand what I say, they also can become a Sotapanna. Why cannot Sarakani? You see? Even trees can become Sotapanna. Why cannot you become Sotapanna? They have more intelligence than the tree, man. It's not that difficult. The Buddha did not say, if I taught the trees meditation, they will become Sotapanna. No, by listening to the Dhamma. That's why for 45 years the Buddha went around teaching the Suttas. The Buddha never taught meditation to lay people. It's very difficult to practice meditation. The Buddha's meditation attain the jhanas. Vipassana meditation very easy to practice. Everybody has to get. Now everyone can meditate.
Tell us that we do really need to keep to 5 precepts to become a Sotapanna.
You don't really need. I tell you a very clear-cut case. Angulimala killed hundreds of people. When Buddha spoke the Dhamma to him, he must have attained swift entry because after that he became a monk. Yeah. After you attain swift entry, then you keep your sila. Automatically you will keep your sila.
When we read the suttas, especially long suttas, there's a lot of repetition. Is it very important for us to repeat every verse?
During the Buddha's time, they had no books like now. So the Buddha repeats so that it goes inside. So now you have the books now. It's not so, you can repeat again and again. But it's important to read or to listen again and again. Yeah. I wanted to ask.
I wanted to ask the story of Angulimala. How come he has managed to escape the karma of because he?
Okay, Bhante, I want to ask about the story of Angulimala. Because he has killed many people, I'm sure the karma will follow him. How can he escape that just because he has attained that stream enter?
Once he has attained stream entry, it guarantees that he will not be reborn in the three woeful planes, as a ghost, animal, and hell. But the other karma will follow him. That's why when he went on arms round, people threw rock at him. Suppose somebody, the son has been killed by him. So when they see him, they want to take revenge. Who robbed at him, some people took the stick and beat him. Sometimes he come back to the monastery, blood streaming down his head. So he knew that his karma very heavy, so he practiced very hard. So after he became an arahant, then no more karma will follow him because there's no more self. My personal view is that an arahant does not suffer from karma. If he cannot create karma like the Buddha, anything he does not create karma, even though he intentionally does it. Why? Because there's no more self for the karma to ripen. So my belief is that karma also cannot ripen for an arahant. There's no more self to attach itself to.
I thought that
once a person becomes an arahant, they do not create further karma. But the past karma, probably they still need to suffer.
No.
Example of Moggallana. I think he died very, yes.
That Moggallana is a fake story.
What is the
Fake
story?
post. Just like nowadays, a lot of fake posts.
No, so he didn't die badly.
No, that is in the stories. It's not in the Sutta. Whatever is not in the Sutta is not to be believed. Firstly, you ask yourself, why is it an arahant does not create karma? Why? Even though he has intention, why does he not create karma? Because there is no self. There's no self. If there's no self, there's nobody creating karma. So in the same way, because there is no self, how can the karma ripen? It must ripen on somebody. There's no self to ripen. I think we better stop here, otherwise I cannot continue tonight. Come, we invite the Devas and Devis to rejoice with us. Itavata Chamahi Itavata Chamahi Sampadam Punya Sampadam Sampadam Punya Sampadam Sabe Deva Sabe Buddha Sabe Buddha Sabe Satta Anumodantu Sabha Sampati Siddhya There's a lot of things when we hear, we must reflect whether it's true or not. And one of the things they like to say, the Pacheka Buddha cannot teach. How can a Pacheka Buddha cannot teach? If he has become enlightened, he knows the Eightfold Path so well, why can't he teach? Our Buddha decided to become a Pacheka Buddha. So our Buddha cannot teach. But then he changed his mind because the Brahma Sampati came to plead with him. Then he changed his mind, then he started to teach. Just that the other Pacheka Buddhas, they just don't want to teach only. But if you went to them personally, one by one, you ask questions, I'm sure they'll teach you. You don't want to take the trouble to go around the place to teach. Secondly, they say Arahant, once he becomes an Arahant, if he does not become a monk, a lay person will die in 24 hours. What is the basis for saying that? No basis for saying that. Now, once a lay person becomes an Arahant, he will naturally leave home because the old self has died.